And we are live. Welcome to my zero viewers. I have zero viewers, but oh well. Everybody's busy. It's Monday night, July 11th. Um, there's always you keep thinking. I keep thinking, man, nothing's going to happen, and the week seems to be full of stuff. So to begin with, I want to cover some stuff. Some me making mistakes from and clean up some stuff from last week. So back when the that kid Robert Cremo the third shot up the Independence Day parade in Wheeling, Illinois. I tweeted about it, and I'm going to show you the tweet. And I'm going to explain why I tweeted what I tweeted as soon as it comes up on the screen. So, of course, that incident's kind of in memory hold. You know, it was a couple days story, and now it's completely it is completely memory hold, as you would expect. So, so there it is. It's from that guy King Caesar, CIA simulation warlord, from his account. Lake McHenry County mass shooting, Highland Park, blah 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 blah. So there were 6 replies. I think I was like the 7th reply. And so you see what I wrote there. I wrote, "Who wants to guess the ethnicity of the shooter? I will go first." And you see, I put the Star of David up there, right? So I'm going to make that bigger so everyone can see that. So this was my initial reaction. You know what I mean? That hearing the story of that somebody shot up a 4th of July parade in Wheeling, Illinois. I immediately, and supposedly the area was heavily Jewish population wise, and I immediately thought it was a Jewish guy who shot it up. And part of the reason why is because when I read the initial news account, it made me think of, and this just flashed into my head. It's my intuition, and it's the way my brain works sometimes. Way back in the 70s, there was something called the JDL, the Jewish Defense League. You know, a bunch of crazy Jews with guns and bombs, and they hated each other. And one of them lived in Washington Square Park in downtown Manhattan. And there's a bunch of low, I guess they're brownstones all around the park, and it's a nice area. It's a nice area to live in. NYU campus is down there. A bunch of stuff is down there. Anyway, 2 of these guys from the JDL were beefing over whatever the fuck they're beefing over, and one of them had a fully automatic AR-15, and this was way before the days of AR-15s, in his apartment. So guy number 2 comes to his apartment, and he's on the sidewalk, like, 20, 30 feet below this window, screaming up at his buddy or his former buddy. And the other JDL guy opens the window and starts shooting at his compatriot or former compatriot with a fully select fire, a full automatic AR-15 from about, 20, 25 feet away, aiming down from a window onto the sidewalk, misses the guy entirely. And he fires, like, I can't remember how many rounds, like a couple of clips. And I remember thinking, well, that's fairly typical for these people. And that incident bizarrely popped into my head when I heard about this 4th of July shooting, and the area was heavily Jewish. So I thought it was a Jewish guy who did the shooting. The other reason for that is what a lot of investigators know is that most people, when they commit crimes, they want to commit them in an area they feel comfortable with. They're not really ready to just like this idea that people just go out at random into a random place that they've never been to before and just immediately start acting with like super violence without warning. That doesn't really happen. People just don't. They're not wired that way. They don't behave that way. They have to warm up to it. They have to feel comfortable in the area. So anyway, that shooting, I thought was done by a Jew. And then when the guy's name came out, wait, I gotta go the other way. His name came out a day later. It's a little smaller at the bottom. You can see what I tweeted was, seems I was wrong. Cremo is not a member of the tribe. So I'm going to stop sharing that one. But here's a picture of, well, I mean, you've seen pictures of this guy before, but here's one that's particularly telling, right? When I saw this, I started realizing, or I was second guessing my second guessing. You know what I mean? I had it, like I said, I initially thought the guy was Jewish. Then they said, well, Robert Cremo III, that didn't sound Jewish. But if you look at that picture, it's a total Antifa, whatever, cover photo. And if you look to the left of his head, you see his reflection in the mirror of him holding up the camera, taking the picture, and he's in some gay ass rainbow fucking colored Antifa fucking uniform. It so screams Antifa, this guys with fucking sticks for fucking arms. You know what I mean? The malformed and malignant, looking to take out their revenge on the world for not being born whatever in the way that they thought they should be born. So that's a picture of him, and then let's see, which one should I show? No, not that one. Not yet. Where is it? Then there was this tweet from a slightly different account, but these people, they just cannot keep quiet. They have to put it in your face. They always reveal what's going on. You just have to pay attention to it. And social media makes that super easy right now. So this is from a different account, but so there it is. Chabad rabbi, Chabad lunatics, or Lubavitch, says the alleged 4th of July Chicago shooter entered his synagogue on Passover. That was this tweet was from the story from the Times of Israel, literally a day after the shooting. So you're thinking like, all right, why is this kid going to a synagogue? You know what I mean? If he's not Jewish, why would he be going to a synagogue? And the reason why is because he's Jewish. But unless you follow these little accounts, right, you aren't going to know that. So I want this bigger. I want this bigger. Then there's this. This is from the local affiliate in Illinois. From their YouTube channel, as they were following the story, right? And so you see it says Highland Park mass shooting suspect's mother at the center of some police controversy. So you can see a woman between two cops, and she's looking up at one of them, and she's got short hair, and she seems to be arguing with them. And that photo looks a little bit blurry. The cop to the left, you can see his arm and elbow and his uniform clearly. The cop to the right, you can see his body armor and all his kit clearly. It's just the woman in the middle is blurred out, kind of, sort of, for some reason, and she appears she's wearing a low cut blouse, but that's not really. She's not topless, right? So it's real weird why she would be blurred out. Like, why would they blur that photo out? And if you look deep down at the very, very bottom of the screenshot, it says comments for this have been turned off. Hey, I got one viewer. So why were the comments turned off? Robert Cremo's mother, why did they blur her photo? And now I'm going to show you why they blurred her photo. So, and somebody, this is, thank God, Twitter. I can't believe this app is free. I just lost my one viewer, Stream Sniper. the internet hobos of fucking whatever Patrick Bateman and fucking OV probably. Probably in all likelihood. So somebody they zoomed in, they cropped and cropped and cropped, and that's the necklace around this woman's neck. So not only did Robert Cremo go to uh, go to synagogue on Passover, his mother openly displays uh, Jewish religious symbols on her ample Khazar milkers, and that's why the previous or the top photo is blurred out. It wasn't people like us that blurred it out. It was it's the media that blurred it out. So my initial instinct, you know what I mean, to think that the type of person who's going to do a shooting like this. Listen, I've been outside New York enough times. I've been in these little towns, like to get on top of a rooftop, you know, like a one-story building, not even a two-story building, and shoot down into the street. You know, that's like most of America. Most of America doesn't look like New York City. You know what I mean? It's not 100-foot or 100-story high skyscrapers. So or stuff like you see in the movies. And I thought, you know, the person that would do that would be somebody who would be comfortable in that area, who grew up in that area, and very likely somebody who absolutely hates America. That would be Antifa. We know Antifa is Jewish inspired. Not all their members are Jewish, but a pretty large number of them are. So I was right, but I doubted myself, and then I backed off it in the tweet. And it's kind of tough not to do because there's so much information passing by me. But my instincts were correct, and I should have stuck to my guns, and I could have claimed the win. But it's not a win because, like I said, I backed off it. In the end, I was proven right, but there's not much you can do about that. So that's from that. That's that bit. And what else we got to clean up some stuff. That Bodega Bro, man. Bodega Bro has opened up the portal to fucking hell. You know what I mean? No lie. Bodega Bro has absolutely opened up the fucking portal to fucking hell with this bodega thing. If you just would have sold this guy some fucking yogurt and eggs, all of this could have been avoided. So the New York bodega stabbing, which is huge on Twitter, and actually it made the where is it? Made the front page of the Post. That's what I want to see. That's the one I wanted to see. New York Post, not a national newspaper, but it is regional. And I'm sure this was like page 2 or page 3 in the Daily News, which is a national newspaper. So this story is a little bit beyond just a local New York story. But it illustrates a boiling street war that a lot of people do not see. So New York Post headline: Justice gone mad. Bodega worker assaulted, fights back, and DA puts him in jail. So, and you see a screenshot of the assault right before the old man grabs a knife and starts fighting back, and then below that. The pudgy face appearing to look up at that giant photo is the DA. What's his name? His last name is Bragg. So they were holding a bodega worker on $500,000 bond, $500,000 bail. They dropped it down to $50,000, but he still had to. Still had to go to whatchamacallit, to jail. So then, the reality of this guy wasn't just him fighting one dude younger than him. Remember, this is a 65-year-old guy still working for a living. He was fighting multiple people. There was the girlfriend, and this is really the driver of this whole thing. LaQuisha, I don't know what her name is really, but let's call her LaQuisha. Lucretia wanted a bag of chips, and her EBT card was declined. EBT stands for Electronic Benefits Transfer. It's the food stamps welfare card that you get. They don't give out paper coupons for welfare anymore. So in the pic, should I make it bigger? I'll make it a little bigger. See if I can't get it. Can we get a little more centered? Yeah, you can see that she's stabbing the bodega worker as well. So she comes in to get a bag of chips. Can't get the chips with the EBT card. Goes back to her boyfriend. Says that the dude in the store disrespected her. Won't let her have no chips. And so the boyfriend comes back. He's 35. He's an ex-con. I think he's out on parole for assaulting a cop. And he goes behind the counter and he starts the altercation. But of course, the old man ends the altercation. It's a little bit fuck around to find out. So of this kerfuffle, like I said, this isn't just a little thing. The city is fucked up in a lot of different ways. And the war between Spanish and blacks is a very, very real thing. They don't like each other. There is no alliance of the browns and blacks against whites. Anybody that tells you that's full of shit. That's just never going to happen. They tried pushing that shit in the 60s. It didn't work. It ain't working today. So another New York Post story, New York City bodega group pitches stand your ground law after fatal stabbing. Now, we know this is never going to happen, but you could see a bunch of these people got together and they got the Post to cover it. There will never be stand your ground law. You will never be able to defend yourself against blacks in New York City. Well, not until a lot of things change in this country. And like I said, people, we don't control the police, the courts, or the prisons. And until we do, stuff like this is a fantasy. But it's indicative that it indicates that the Spanish community, particularly the Dominicans, are looking to fight back. They're feeling strong. They're looking to fight back. They're looking to push back against City Hall. And it's very tough to call them racist because they're very nearly as brown, and in some cases, just as brown as the people that they are stabbing and killing. Lastly, one more picture to show that there's more than a little sympathy for this guy, particularly with the NYPD, because they knew this was coming. This is the information war thing has always been going on, like the so-called perp walk or the perpetrator walk, where the police walk whoever did the crime into or out of the police station. The cops can make you look good or they can make you look like shit, and they went out of their way to make the guy look good. Right? They turned him towards the camera. You see he's wearing that shirt. I don't know how well you can see the detail, but it's a clean white shirt, a nicer shirt than the one he was wearing, obviously, when he got arrested. So when he got arrested, he was not wearing nice clothing, but the photo of him being arrested, he is wearing nice clothing. And the police know that. Somebody brought him a shirt. The police let him put the shirt on because they knew when they walked out of the station house, there was going to be a photo, and the jurors who are going to hear this case are going to see that photo. They're going to remember that photo, and they have sympathy for this guy, and they want this guy, they want to help this guy at trial. So that's why they let him have the white shirt, dressed him in the white shirt. Yeah, they're still going to cuff him behind his back. If they really, really like you, if you get a lot of pull, they put the handcuffs in front of you so you don't look like you're handcuffed. And then they put a jacket over the handcuffs so you just look like you're walking with your coat in your hands. But they did as much as they could for this guy, let him comb his hair, make him look as presentable as they can make him look after 3 days on Rikers Island. So a lot of sympathy for this dude, not just in the Dominican community, but in law enforcement. Now, will that change the DA's mind on anything? No, the DA is still charging the guy with murder. Now, I'm guessing as the case goes on, the charges are going to be dropped and dropped and dropped. And if it goes to trial, and I hope it goes to trial, the DA is going to lose. This guy needs to fight it the whole way through. Whether or not he has the resources to do that or the determination to do that, he'll 100% walk from this. 100% he will walk from this because nobody in New York is willing to tolerate this shit at all anymore. And he's got his skin is dark enough that he absolutely cannot be accused of being the racism. So Al Sharpton and the rest not going to be around. There's the number of Dominicans flooding into New York City is really high, and they're displacing the blacks in different neighborhoods of the city, like in Harlem, East Harlem particularly. And the Spanish are going to do everywhere throughout the United States what they've done to, like the city of Compton, where the NWA was from. The city of Compton used to be a black ghetto. Today it's a Latino barrio. And the reason why is because the Mexican gangs moved in, fought it out, shot it out, stabbed it out with the blacks. They beat the blacks and pushed the blacks out of Compton, which is a small city in California, like 50,000 people. It's really a very small city, but it's not black. It's not a black ghetto anymore. It's a Latino barrio. Even though I think up until recently, the leadership, like the mayor and the city council and stuff, was still black. They've completely lost control of the streets. They lost control of the city, and it's just a matter of time before they're replaced with guys named Alvarez and Sanchez and Morales. That's definitely coming, and it's true for California, and it's true for the rest of the country. So I think that pretty much cleans up all of the largely cleans up everything from last week. So what the hell did I name this stream? I can't remember what I named the stream. Behind the Castle Walls, right? So I've been reliably informed by people on Twitter who apparently are fucking time travelers that shit was like really good back in the days. That being a serf in medieval Europe was fucking, man, like this was the life, that medieval serfdom trumps modern 21st century, working class life by orders of magnitude. Now, I don't know how true that is or that isn't, but I'm guessing it's nowhere near as true as those people like to believe. So let's find some. No, that's not quite there. Not quite there. Where is it? Medieval times. Here we go. So here's the cover of a book that someone on Twitter excerpted that they have read. I have not read the book, but I've read the excerpt. And the excerpt is enough to prove my point. The book is called The English Medieval House. And I love the way they spelled it, like in a proper English style, MEDIA. They'll just throw extra fucking vowels in there we don't even need because they speak proper English, not whatever the fuck I speak. Anyway, the book is called The English Medieval House by Margaret Wood with a preface by Sir Mortimer Wheeler. Morte. I don't think they ever called him Morte. They call black dudes Morte, but they never called, I doubt they called Sir Mortimer Wheeler Morte. You must have had a lot of Bombay gin in order to do that. So what are the things we learned in the English medieval house? Well, we did learn some interesting stuff. So where is it? Where could it be? Okay. So this is as good as any. So it mentions a place called Lincoln or Lincolnshire. Probably a lot of hobbits live there. Maybe not called Lincolnshire, just Lincoln. Not like Abe Lincoln. Did you say Abe Lincoln? No, I said Abe Lincoln. You just said Abe Lincoln. Virgil Doc, Purple Heart. Welcome to the show, sir. So there's a list of the people and places who were heavily indebted to a man named Aaron of Lincoln, an English Jewish banker who was the wealthiest man in Norman England. One king, 5 earls, 3 bishops, 9 abbeys, and 2 towns. 40% interest charged on the debt. And then you see the screenshots of the story about the wealthiest man in Norman England was an English Jewish banker named Aaron of Lincoln. Just one name. That makes you a rock star in the world of usury. Makes you, when you have one name, you're immediately a rock star. Like Cher, Prince, Muhammad Ali, Judas Fly Chai, based Persian mission guide. The Holy Talmud says that Hebrews are royalty. Yeah, well, you know what? We was Kangs. We all know you was better than Kangs, really, because the Kangs owed you money. So here's some details about medieval England that I find curious. So William the Conqueror brought the Jewish bankers into England. Henry II set up a special department to collect the debts owed personally to his exchequer. That is the richest man in Lincoln, Aaron of Lincoln. Upon his death, after Henry II, who I think they call Henry the Window Licker, I believe that was his nickname around the palace. After Henry II's death, persecution of Jewish bankers began. That's weird. Why would you persecute? I mean, you happy serfs, you such a delightful life of a serf. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the king was in debt to the Jews, and the bishops were in debt to the Jews, and there were entire fucking towns in debt to the Jews. But if you were a serf, man, you only worked 2 days a week. The weekend was 5 days long. You could drink as much as you want. You could flip off the fucking lord of the manor. You know what I mean? Your workday consisted of like paid breakfast, an hour nap, surveying the job, another hour nap. I'm just fucking life as a serf was a fucking joy. That's what I've been told. Now, if you're a king or a bishop or you're an entire town, you're a debt slave to this Jew. Like, it sucked to be you. And I'm sure the king was like, fuck, I'm paying 40 points, 40% interest I'm paying to this fucking Jew, but I'm going to suffer all by myself. I'm not going to squeeze the serfs. No. That would be against the royal code. The code of royalty. I would never fucking offload my responsibilities onto other fucking people who are powerless to stop me. No. I would never do that. Why? Because I'm a king. I'm royalty. I would never fucking squeeze those fucking serfs until every fucking drop of blood came out of them and every fucking morsel of fucking food came out of their mouth to pay that fucking Jew. No, I would never do that. Okay. I'm sure that William the Conqueror and Henry the fucking Window Licker, you know what I mean? We're like, I must bear this. I have incurred the debt. I must bear this debt by myself, because that's English royalty, right? Yeah. That's the fucking fantasy you fucking live in. That's not the way people act. That the king, the bishop, the earls, the fucking 2 fucking towns full of fucking people all owed money to Aaron of Lincoln. Believe me when I tell you, they fucking got that money by hook or by crook from anybody. Anybody weaker than them paid up. Anything that they could take from you and sell, they did. If they could take the fucking agricultural output of the serfs and give it to fucking Aaron of Lincoln, and to pay off the debt, then Aaron of Lincoln would probably sell the serfs back the same fucking food that the serfs had fucking grown. That's the way I think it went. But what do I know? I'm not an expert on medieval England. You know what I mean? And the fucking joy it was to be a fucking serf, while the really sucky part was being a fucking king or an earl or a bishop. That was the sucky part. The great part was being a fucking illiterate fucking manual laborer who couldn't fucking read or count. Yeah, that was a real fucking paradise. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is entirely how it must have fucking been, right? Yeah, gotta tell you, I'm not buying that. You know what I mean? I'm really not buying that. So where's my other no. So that is where's the fucking here. What else was that? What was this one? I showed that already. You already fucking showed that. The question is, James, that was in the year 1000. In the year 1000. That can't possibly be true today. I mean, we live in a modern era. There's no way that the bankers could tell the fucking royalty what to do, right? I bet you some of you have fucking seen this shit. I bet you some of you have seen this. How many of you have seen this picture? Right? One does not touch the royal personage. You're not allowed to physically touch a member of the royal family without permission, even if it's your brother, sister, mother, whatever. If you are not allowed to touch the royals, one does not touch the royal personage. Well, what are you looking at? You're looking at Jacob Rothschild poking his fucking finger into the chest of fucking Charles of Windsor, whatever the fuck his name is. Now tell me, who owns fucking who? From the year 1000 to the fucking modern era, who runs what? Don't tell me that the people of England are fucking suffering under right now with the immigration and all the fucking rest of the shit that's being done to them. All these Indians, these fucking street shitters being put into fucking positions of power over the Britons. English people being arrested for fucking tweets. You know what I mean? The police come to your house because you like the tweet or you like the Facebook post and you go to fucking jail. So you put a slice of bacon on the door of a mosque and you go to prison for a fucking year. This is the serf class, by the way. All right. That's the serf class in England and how much it sucks to be there. Well, why do you think that is? Because the royals who were supposed to represent England are the debt slaves to the Rothschilds. Okay. So this idea, this bullshit fantasy you have that life in medieval England was so great and you could be like a little hobbit and fucking eat 2 breakfasts and wander around and fight dragons and shit. Let me tell you, you want to live in a fantasy world, live in a fucking fantasy world. But don't try to pretend for 5 seconds that it's real. In the year 1000 AD, the Jews ruled England. In the modern era, Jews rule England. And they rule it the same way with money. Okay? That's not a fist fight between fucking the Rothschilds and Prince Charles. They're not going to fucking square up and start throwing hands. That's not what they're doing, right? That's for the lower classes people. You know what I mean? These people don't do that. They don't express their unhappiness that way. They don't engage in conflict that way. Okay? The debt slavery from 1000 AD still continuing today by the same people to the same people. That's the fucking truth. I don't give a fucking shit. Oh, the life of a medieval fucking peasant was so great. Are you fucking kidding me? Now, I don't have a book to show you what life in France was like, or Germany or Spain or Portugal or those other fucking countries. But I guarantee you it was as bad or worse. Okay? None of these history books talk about fucking money. None of these history books talk about who owed fucking who. And there's a reason why. Because if you looked at that, if you looked at where the fucking money was and how real human incentives fucking drove behavior, the picture you have of history would be very, very different. So you can have whatever fucking picture you want of William the Conqueror or Henry the Window Licker, but the truth is they spent their day fucking trying to figure out how they're gonna pay off that fucking Jew. Why? Because they're fucking idiots. They're total fucking shitheads who pissed away their money on stupid shit. You know what I mean? And had to start a fucking war or squeeze the peasants until there was no fucking blood left in them to fucking pay off the fucking debts. And it literally never ended. It's still going on today. So, I don't. That's the secret of all this shit. But yeah, something democracy sucks, right? Yeah, I've heard that before. So our friends, where is it? I gotta see the whole thing here. This was that's two. Where's the first one? I gotta get the first one. Our friends, talk about our friends. This is making me like almost liking Mexican dudes. Almost liking Mexican dudes. Not really liking Mexican dudes, but depends on which class of people we're talking about. But there were some Central Americans who are kind of fucking based. There are some Centro Americanos above the taquirios class, above the fucking, modelo especial, you know what I mean? The Dos Equis class of beer drinkers in Mexico that, at the upper levels, them Castizo dudes ain't so stupid. Right? The president of Mexico. The U.S. is controlled by a Jewish mafia. Straight up, boom. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, Mexico is controlled by a Mexican mafia, but that's pretty fucking based. Pretty fucking based. You know what I mean? I like that a lot. However, when this stuff happens, inevitably there is blowback. There's blowback. Where's the blowback? I had it up there. One thing sort of follows another, right? So this is, and you can, it's like it's inevitable. You know what I mean? You know this is coming, and once you learn to see it, man, it's actually pretty funny. And again, drives home my point that money runs everything. Mexico's debt rating gets downgraded by Moody's right after the Mexican president says America's run by a Jewish mafia. All of a sudden, their debt rating gets driven down. What a coincidence, huh, Goy? What a fucking coincidence. Holy Chipotles. Holy fucking Chipotles, senor. Out of the blue, Mexico, which makes all like American auto parts, they have oil, they have all kinds of shit. All of a sudden, their debts get downgraded because I don't know, just no reason whatsoever. It's just no reason whatsoever, The president of Mexico says America is run by a Jewish mafia. Boom, they get down. The entire country gets downgraded by Moody's, and your bond rating getting downgraded has real financial effects. Once again, the control of the elites comes from money. It does not come from ideology. Nobody thinks, oh, thank God I was born to be a slave to a fucking Jew. Thank God I was born to be one of the 2,800 slaves each one of the chosen people will have when the Moshiach returns. Nobody thinks that, right? It's all about fucking money. It's all about money. It's all about money all the time, every fucking day. And if you're not talking about that, if you're talking about ideology and why did the Protestants fight with the Catholics and that's all this fucking stupid shit, no one listens to you. And the reason why no one listens to you is because you're talking stupid shit that nobody wants to fucking hear. And I mean like nobody wants to hear. You want to keep that in mind. You would like to keep that in mind. What else we got here? No, I already showed that one. So what's been going on? A lot of stuff has been going on. Obviously, I'm going to show that one later. my predictions about weak and corrupt economies falling apart has has absolutely come true. What's driving this, right? So everybody knows, like Sri Lanka was in the news. They had a popular uprising. They had the president ran for his life and jumped on a boat. They don't even have a jet to run on. At least when the corrupt scumbags in Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan, when they flee the country in a private jet with suitcases full of money. In Sri Lanka, they don't even have fucking airports. The guy had to run to like a tramp steamer from the 1930s. But here's an article from the World Economic Forum from August 29 of 2018. August 29, 2018, Sri Lanka Prime Minister, this is how I will make my country rich by 2025. In 2022, he was running for his life. By the way, August 29, 2018, Bitcoin was at $3,000. It was about $3,000. Had the Sri Lankan Prime Minister bought Bitcoin at $3,000, even today, with Bitcoin's crashed out, terrible price of $19,800, Sri Lanka would be fucking rich. So listening to the World Economic Forum will make you as poor as you can possibly can be, and you will be running for your fucking life for the tramp steamer to get you the fuck out of the country before the rebels rip your fucking head off. Okay? So literally the best advice you have in life, do the opposite of the World Economic Forum. Do the literal, whatever they suggest, do the fucking opposite. Do the opposite, do the opposite, do the opposite. They talk about a green energy future. I just drove past a new fucking giant billboard along fucking the New Jersey Turnpike. Diesel mechanics wanted $46 an hour to start. $46 an hour for a diesel mechanic. Believe me, the future is not fucking green. The future is diesel. The future is a fossil future. Do the opposite of what they tell you. If you're going to invest the opposite way that they fucking tell you. If they say invest in lithium batteries, invest in fucking whatever, literally diesel parts fucking companies. Because all that electrical shit's going to fail for 100 reasons. The grid can't fucking produce the power. All our nuclear power plants are shut down. Fucking, listen to me. Do the opposite of what they say. Well, 3 weeks ago, I talked about the guy from MIT, the Jewish guy from MIT, who proposed BIP, Bitcoin Internet Protocol, BIP 119, which was going to be an upgrade to Bitcoin, which is all shit that had already been done anyway, mostly. And he was saying, well, I went to MIT and blah, 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 blah. Well, the MIT Forum, the MIT Cryptocurrency Forum, backed by the World Economic Foundation, World Economic Forum. So Bitcoin told them to go fuck off, and they rightly fucked off. And so anyone that listens to them, you're going to end up like the president of Sri Lanka. What happens to Sri Lanka? I don't fucking know. It's a fucking shit show over there. What's going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen. But smart people on the government payroll, spooks like this guy. This guy's a fucking spook. And the reason why I say he's a spook is because he travels the world with no fucking visible means of support. How do you do stuff? How do you do all this shit without fucking, who pays your bills? It's not clear to me who pays for shit. Where do you get the fucking money to do what the fuck you do, right? It's always, part of the reason why, the FBI used to put Italian gangsters in jail would say, well, the guy owns 6 houses, but he has no visible means of support, or he's a plumbing supply salesman. You know what I mean? How do you own 7 houses worth $1 million each if you're fucking selling drywall nails and fucking whatever, fucking copper tubing, right? So this is that guy, Gonzalo Lira. I don't actually understand why Sri Lanka all of a sudden went off a cliff. Mainstream news, blah, 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 blah. Okay. The answer, you dumb fucking spook motherfucker, is money. Okay. When the money stops working, people go fucking crazy. And the money stopped working in Sri Lanka. Now, listen, I don't give a fuck about street shitters. I really don't care. I don't generally like them, but my point that when the money stops working, shit's going to get real fucking unstable and violent. That's true, whether it's in a bodega in the Bronx, right? Whether your EBT card gets shut off and you need to get your mans to get you that bag of chips and it ends up in a murder in a big shit show in New York City, or it ends up in a fucking a popular fucking revolution. Okay, Gonzalo Lira is a fucking spook. It's as sure as the day is 24 hours fucking long. Because who fucking pays his bills to go from war zone to war zone? How do you afford shit in a fucking war zone? How do you pay for food, everything? Everything in a war zone costs more. You know what I mean? Because you might not be alive tomorrow. Give me everything you got right now. And everything's in short supply. So fuck that spook motherfucker. I mean, I follow him on Twitter, but understand he's a fucking spook. You know what I mean? All these guys, who's that other one, that young guy, Lord Miles Rutledge? You know what I mean? He was the based Brit bomb who just decided to leave his cushy life in London and go to fucking Afghanistan. Yeah, he wasn't a spook, right? And as soon as he started getting called out as a spook on Twitter, his fucking account disappeared. You know what I mean? So, you know, you got to start asking, like, who's paying your fucking bills? Like, do you really think somebody's like, well, I got $9 in my pocket. I'll just buy a plane ticket to a war zone. Nobody fucking does that. Nobody does that. Okay? That isn't done by anyone ever. Okay? And they sure as fuck don't live tweet war zones or fucking revolutions. So the Gonzalo Lira, who's got a fucking guaranteed paycheck from CIA or whoever the fuck, or MI6, probably CIA though. The CIA pays best. You know, gets to go to this fucking war zones. Like, geez, I don't understand what's happening. Don't they get their massive fucking government paycheck every 2 weeks in their Swiss bank account? Why would you riot? I don't seem to get it. You know what I mean? So that's what drives all of this shit. I've said it before, your ideology is shit. All your ideas suck cock. Okay? You're not talking about money. You're not talking about real fucking incentive. You're full of shit. And you could stay in this bubble world where people do things in medieval England for love of the fucking king or whatever dumb shit, whatever dumb fucking thing, like until reality visits you, and reality will fucking visit you, you could live in this bubble world, but it will not last forever. As you got the fucking Dutch farmer protest, right? Dutch farmers have been told, and this is another fucking, I want to fucking, it made me think that ESG, environmentally sound governance, claims that you have to reduce the amount of nitrogen in the fucking atmosphere. The atmosphere that you're breathing, that I'm breathing right now, is 78% nitrogen. You know what I mean? A lot of people know I used to be like a big motorcycle guy, hardcore motorcycle enthusiast back in the days. Motorcycle fucking shops used to con newbies, like dumb guys, and they would say, listen, if you brought your motorcycle out for service, they're like, we'll swap out the air in your fucking tires for nitrogen gas. You know what I mean? We'll fill your tires with nitrogen gas. That way you'll have better handling and more precise fucking control and shit. And they charge them, of course, for that. And they said, we put a nitrogen gas blend in your fucking tires. Well, the air you breathe is a nitrogen gas blend. It's 78% nitrogen, about 15% fucking oxygen, and then 4% fucking other. All right. So this whole nitrogen is something. We have to take your farms. The Dutch farmers know that it's just to fucking put in migrants there, cheap workers, right? Steal their property and give it to fucking Africans or Middle Easterners. And they're fighting to keep control of something of value, agricultural land that's been in their family for however long time. What are they fighting for? The way they make their living. Incidentally, happens to provide food security for the Netherlands. But this idea, kind of vaguely defocused, is going throughout Europe. The Polish are having strikes in solidarity with them. The Germans are having strikes in solidarity with them. Like all of this, they don't really understand what's driving this whole thing, but it doesn't matter as long as they get that ESG is bullshit, and that these guys, if they can, by their protest, by using the tractors to shut down the fucking airport and the highways and whatever they're doing, cost the government so fucking much and exhaust the levers of control, the methods of control, the police, etc. Because the police can't do riot duty forever and ever and ever. They need a fucking break. And this is where sooner or later, I don't know if this one or the next one, Bitcoin's going to start to fucking shine in a big way, even though a lot of people don't understand Bitcoin. They're going to say, well, the Canadian truckers tried Bitcoin, but the Canadian government confiscated it. That's because you did it wrong, you dumb fucks. Bitcoin is direct peer-to-peer. I can send Bitcoin directly to anybody, anywhere on the planet, okay? What the Canadian truckers did wrong was they created accounts at exchanges, which is essentially like a bank. So, like in New York is real easy. Like back in, like you want to give somebody money, like you would just go give them money, right? You could put it in an envelope, you could hand them the envelope, and that's that. The payoff is fucking done. But what the Canadian truckers did was said, hey, you want your payoff money? Meet me at the bank. You know what I mean? And then you handed the money to a bank teller, and the bank teller handed it to the second party. And then at some point, the Canadian government, a cop came in. And when you handed the envelope full of money to the banker, the cop said, don't give it to the second guy. And the banker said, okay. And the cop took the money and left. But you don't need to do that. You could meet the guy outside the bank or down the street or anywhere, not even meet them at all, and just transfer the Bitcoin without a third party. You don't understand it yet because your brain, your entire worldview is fucking limited to what you know, and you cannot imagine anything different. So that's your limitation. That's your problem. This will be beaten out of you one way or another. And, like I just urge people to be smarter and to not be as limited in your thinking as you are, but whatever, you're clinging to your fucking medieval fantasies or your fucking rice and beans Hitler gonna come fucking save me fantasy, whatever the fuck it's gonna be. You know what I mean? Like, and I know with the president of Mexico, you're thinking, holy shit, rice and beans Hitler really exists. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, look at the president of Mexico talking about Jewish mafia running the United States. Rice and beans Hitler is real. Oh boy, any day now. Trust me, they're not coming. Rice and beans Hitler is not coming to fucking save you. I know you think he's coming, but he's not coming. Juice like chai in the chat. Jimmy, get your eyes lasered when you wear glasses. You wear the face of a cripple. Judas Light Chai, you were so far behind the times. Had that done in 2003, 19 years ago. Inevitably, your eyes will age. The lens part of your eye will dry out. It tends to dry out in the long distance position. That's why old people are always trying to hold stuff like this to read, because the soft lens of their eye is dried out and hardened in the long distance position. Fun facts about aging, that the kings, the Semitic kings of the Talmud do not actually know. Oy vey, the doctor said I can't. What do you mean I can't change it? Can't you fucking charge a tax? Or fucking, what do you mean your eyes are going to dry out? Can I pay somebody to put water in my eyes? What the fuck? Don't treat me like a goy. Let's charge this to Medicare. No, the Jews would never offload their their expenses onto others. Okay. Speaking of revolutions, listen, it's fun to watch all this. It's fun and scary to watch all this crazy shit that I say kind of happen, because I really there's a part of me that doesn't want to be right about this shit, but uh, it's more important for me to tell the truth to whoever wants to listen to it, and to put out um, enough fucking warnings to people so you protect yourself and don't get caught up in stupid shit, right? If you can avoid it, but a lot of people can't avoid it. So, like about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I showed a picture of like Walmart had electronic security tags on steaks, which, by the way, ribeyes where I live are like $19 a pound for ribeye steak. And I remember last year was like $13 or $14. So inflation just rocking at the supermarket. Um, Here, you would think, well, all right, so steak is desirable, blah, 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 this and that. Well, here you go. Supermarkets put security tags on cheese. Okay. Like, if people are willing to steal fucking some Monterey Jack, like they're going to shoplift Monterey Jack or fucking cheddar. And cheddar, by the way, used to be a slang term for money back in the days. It isn't anymore. I'm sure the 90s are over. But yeah, so now they're locking up the cheese, right? Which is it's fat, it's protein, largely protein and fat. But everybody likes cheese. Who doesn't like cheese? For if you are one of the kings of the Talmud, you cannot have cheese and meat on the same plate. Sucks to be you. I guess you have to suffer as the English royalty had to suffer under 40% fucking interest rates. You have to suffer with milk and meat and milk on two different plates. Oi, it's another showa. So, So yeah, that you aren't going to be allowed into or out of a supermarket sooner or later because people are going to steal everything, and you're going to have to show your fucking smartphone to be allowed in, and then you can take whatever you want. Take whatever you want as much as you want. Okay, but it's all going to be recorded on your smartphone with 5G or 6G or whatever the fuck. Sooner or later, they're going to come out with this. They'll get the infrastructure in place, and they'll do that. But there's going to be a lot of fucking unpleasantness and a lot of fucking riding between here and there. Okay. Take as much as you want, go into debt, pass your debts on to your children. You know what I mean? That gives them a work ethic. You're being a good parent by doing that. That's what they're going to fucking pitch to you. That's 100% what they're going to pitch to you. Meanwhile, those of us who have more than 2 living brain cells, more, not one, not just 2 living brain cells, more are going to understand what the future really looks like. So, pointed out last week, 2 weeks ago, that in Uganda, they claim that they have found $12 trillion worth of gold in the ground. That is double the amount of gold that we know of on the planet Earth. The amount of gold on the planet Earth just doubled. This story from July 5, 2022, just last week. Gold, $1,773 per ounce, falling like a rock. And then the first tweet in response to that, gold supply doubled after findings in Uganda. Thus, price should halve or be reduced by half. That's a tweet, obviously, by a Bitcoiner. But yeah, the idea that the shiny metal is going to save you once they've finished digging that $12 trillion out of the dirt in Uganda, even with inflation, I guarantee you gold is going to like fucking $800 again. If you're a gold bug, I would suggest, and this is not financial advice, I would suggest you sell now, wait a couple of years, and buy back in when gold drops, because the amount of gold on the planet just doubled. It just fucking doubled. and the law of supply and demand eventually kicks in. That's why they put the electronic tags on the steaks and the cheese, and they don't put the electronic tags on the fucking on the impossible meat. You know what I mean? They don't put the fucking electronic tags on the soy burgers. You know what I mean? With the fucking tofu hot dogs or the fucking all that gay ass fake shit that has to imitate real food. You know what I mean? That is the gayest thing about vegetarian food. It's like it's like soy burgers. Why do you have to pretend to be a hamburger? You know what I mean? It's like a trans person, but with food. You know what I mean? And then they have soybean hot dogs that aren't real fucking hot dogs. You know what I mean? And whether your hot dogs are all beef or a mix of chicken and pork and beef or whatever, or even fucking turkey hot dogs, which I think are satanic, but still they exist. I'm a tolerant dude. I mean, if you want to eat turkey hot dogs, eat turkey hot dogs. I don't suggest you do. Like I said, I believe they are the work of the devil, but it's all meat. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's a complete protein. You know what I mean? These tofu fucking hot dogs, tofu pups, where the fuck that stupid shit I see in the fucking supermarket. Nobody steals that. They don't have to put electronic monitoring things on it like they have to put it on a fucking block of cheddar or fucking whatever Monterey Jack or whatever the fuck you eat. You know what I mean? So there's a reason why they don't have to lock that shit up, because nobody, not even starving, rioting looters, want soy burgers. That's how undesirable their fucking shit is. But that's the World Economic Forum. So, by the way, what's Bitcoin? Bitcoin's like 19 and change right now. I've mentioned in the past, all crypto is a fucking scam. And people don't seem to want to know this. People say, well, I don't know about that. You know, there's this thing, it says it's useful. No, it's not. It's all a fucking scam. And it's going to be run by this cocksucker who is definitely a front man for the Rothschilds. He's 100% a fucking one of their guys. He's like the George Soros of the fucking 21st century, right? Up there, is the photo come up? Yeah, okay. So this guy's name is, what the fuck is his name? Bankman-Fried. Bankman-Fried. He's a Jewish billionaire who just wears T-shirts and he doesn't have a haircut. And he's fat and he has no muscle tone. So there's some sort of story from Bloomberg News how Bankman-Fried is riding to the rescue. There's all these crypto projects that are in trouble, crypto platforms, these exchanges and stuff that were publicly traded on different stock markets around the world. And a year ago or 2 years ago, they were very highly valued. And now they're giving away, like they're down by like 99%. And surprise, surprise, this Jewish guy comes in and swoops in and buys the entire crypto exchange from whatever country at 1% of its previous value, right? And I don't know who Ash Bennington is. I don't follow the guy, but the tweet is worth paying attention to. Dude, Wall Street CEOs do not ride to the rescue. They buy distressed assets at steep discounts. So what this guy's doing is he's buying the exchange. Imagine buying the New York Stock Exchange or the London Stock Exchange. Basically, that's what this guy's doing. So all the crypto in the future, which will all be scams, by the way, all crypto is a scam. The only thing worth owning and trading your Zogbucks for is Bitcoin. All this other crypto shit is literally a shit. It's a scam. It's an exit scam for various different low lives. But their platforms will pay money to this Bankman-Fried dude. This Bankman-Fried dude is going to be the George Soros of the 21st century, the digital George Soros. You know what I mean? As Wall Street dies, traditional Wall Street dies, and crypto Wall Street takes its place, the 24/7 super something, and it's going to be even worse than analog Wall Street. I promise you. And it's just pure logic that informs my statements. I'm not I have no crystal ball, but I understand how things fucking work, and I understand how people are, and what drives human behavior. And I don't look at it sideways. I don't look at it in some oblique way. I just look at it straight on, and give you, whoever's watching this, the best possible fucking information, so you can listen. I don't know what choices you're going to make. I don't know what opportunities you have. I don't know what responsibilities you have, but finding somebody who that gives you their unvarnished fucking opinion and backs it up with some sort of fucking logic, I think is kind of rare. So that's the value that this channel offers, right? And maybe because of my unique position of sometimes I see fucking people, I am in the same room as private jet people. You know what I mean? I'm not their friends. I'm not their fucking whatever. I'm not their social equals in any way. But I get to observe them. I get to hear the stuff they have to say. I get to watch how they behave. I get to see their demeanor, their physicality. I get to see a lot of these one percenters up close. I have a kind of a unique position in that regard, and I also talk to the people who deal with them routinely, who deal, the front desk people and the fucking, and the porters and the fucking, they're not bellhops. I don't think they don't call them bellhops. They call them, whatever, the ground workers and the fucking, in these airports. So I get to chat with these people a little bit, and I get some insight, more, a little more insight than the average dude who's like, the average Twitter bro or social media bro. I get a teensy bit more. Not saying that everything I say is 100% right all the time, but my batting average the last 6 months been pretty fucking good. I've been like knocking it out of the park with like damn near everything. And again, the global fucking idea, the weakest, most corrupt economies will fail the most. You'll see political instability, revolutions, riots, etc., over basic things like food and energy. Nobody gives a fuck about your ideology. Nobody gives a fuck about this carefully constructed mental bullshit you use to fucking screen out the fucking ugly truth of your fucking life. Nobody cares about that. And they never will. Okay? They care about, can I fucking keep the lights on? Can I put food on the fucking table? Can I have the energy, whatever that means, to do the things I need to do to live my life, for my wife, for my kids, whatever. You know what I mean? That's everyday concerns. Ignore that. And you can ignore that for a very long time until the fucking whole bottom drops out, and then you fall from whatever high place you imagine yourself to be. And you find yourself dealing with circumstances you're not equipped to deal with. So, all right. So Black bin, freed, the gold bugs. Here's, I've mentioned this before, and this is, here's a tweet that it's the corporate corporate acknowledgement of my worldview by a very, very, very significant corporation. Tweet from ExxonMobil. We supported blah, 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 aiming for zero methane emissions initiative, and we will strive to reach near zero methane emissions from our operated oil and gas assets by 2030. Read all about this and our previously announced 2030 plans. ExxonMobil.cu.co/3 Kilo Romeo 7 Hotel Golf Hotel. And it shows a bunch of oil field workers. They're all white people, by the way. There's no brown people working the oil patch. Middle-aged white people and millennial white people. I think there's one in the middle in the coveralls is female. In the tan coveralls, because she's talking to a dude, I think, in blue coveralls. So what I've said is that ExxonMobil is going to solve its environmental governance problems by mining Bitcoin using the excess gas from oil drilling, the flare gas. I said they were going to do that. Now this is them saying they're going to do this, right? So they come. Whatever they have to do with their corporate governance, whatever they have to do with legal, blah 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 blah. ExxonMobil, which has been a big corporation since 1870, was a big corporation in 1970, and they plan on being a big corporation in 2070. They're not going anywhere. And this Bitcoin thing, that's going to take all that methane gas that's wasted and their pollution, they're going to turn that shit into Bitcoin. That behemoth that is ExxonMobil is fucking lining itself up. It's going to get all the fucking equipment together, and it's going to start driving towards this Bitcoin thing. Not because they need the money, because they don't fucking need the money. But it's part of their strategy to fucking maintain their corporate viability and allow the elite level energy people to keep extracting fucking value from whatever economy is working in 2030 or 2040 or 2050 or 2060 or 2070. You know what I mean? And they'll be able to say, look, we cut our emissions, we did this, we did that, blah, 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 blah. They're taking something that's waste for them and a headache and turning it into a fucking net positive. And this is the biggest fucking energy company on the planet Earth. That story, which is the crystallization of my fucking analysis, is way bigger than you think it is. And people are going, well, if that's true, well, how come Bitcoin's only $19,000? Well, whenever Bitcoin fucking starts taking off again, you'll be crying a different fucking tune. I don't listen to people crying anymore, all right? You don't have a very good argument against what I'm talking about. You don't have a very good argument against my worldview. And just because you fucking whine a lot, that doesn't, it just, you know, what good does fucking that do? You know, you make shitty fucking points in an incoherent fashion, all right? And there's the world is not going your way, absolutely not going your way. People are not going, oh boy, I can't wait till we get that king back. You know what I mean? I can't wait till we go back to that medieval fucking. They didn't even have candles back then. What did they use? Fucking animal fat with a fucking wick. Did they have tallow candles? Who fucking knows? I can't wait till my kids don't know how to read or do math. You know what I mean? And if I have a pretty daughter, the fucking Lord can just come by and do a little prima nocta whenever he fucking wants. And I can't kill the kid because that would be a crime against the fucking crown. Yeah, I'm sure you're dying to fucking live that way. All you motherfuckers who you wouldn't know which end of a fucking shovel to grab if I gave you 3 fucking tries, think you're gonna go have the joyous life of a manual laborer in the year 1000. Listen to me, they didn't wake up, go to fucking Starbucks and check out the Wi-Fi in the year 1000. That's not how it happened. And you can make a lot of arguments against hedonic adaptation, but you still do have a fucking better life than they did. You just don't like to go to fucking work. That's all. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you don't like going to work. Surprise, nobody does. It's good to be the king. Unless, of course, you owe fucking 40 points to the fucking Shylock down the fucking road. But when you look at like Shakespeare, right? Shakespeare in The Merchant of Venice, you know, Shakespeare was not writing about Venice. Shakespeare was writing about England. Shakespeare, I don't think had ever been to Venice, but he writes The Merchant of Venice, and he writes the character of Shylock wanting his pound of fucking flesh. And he had to set the story in Venice because you can't be too on the nose with this fucking thing, right? You can't be too direct. I'll be direct, you know what I mean? And because I don't give a fuck if I'm liked or not liked. But Shakespeare had to make money as a fucking playwright, so you have to set the play, The Merchant of Venice, in faraway Italy, not in England. But Shakespeare was 100% talking about fucking England, and Aaron of fucking Lincolnshire or whatever, or whoever the fuck there was in the 1500s, who was the richest motherfucker in England, who also just happened to be a Jew, just like the one from 500 years ago, just like the one from today. But when there's censorship, when you can't tell the truth, people put a mask on shit. You know what I mean? They try to hide it one way or another. They try to hide it one way or another. What else? What else is going on? Where's let's do this. And sometimes there are obvious things that you can't see. Chris Alton, if the WEF told everyone to invest in Bitcoin, would you buy ETH? The WEF will never tell everyone to invest in Bitcoin because they've already tried to take over Bitcoin with BIP 119, which I've already talked about. Bitcoin Internet Protocol 119, written by an MIT professor who's Jewish, and he went to Bitcoin Miami 2022, and he put up a bounty, and no one accepted it, so you have to adopt my protocol. And you know what Bitcoin said? Drop fucking dead. So they've already had their ass kicked by us once, and it will happen again, I fucking guarantee you. And it will continue to happen for as long as they fucking try. Bitcoin is fucking inevitable. You just can't see it. And the reason why you can't see it is because you're waiting for Rice and Beans Hitler, or you're waiting for fucking some Hobbit king to fucking return, or whatever fantasy you have that blocks you from dealing with reality. That's what you're caught up in. And right now, enjoy it. I'm telling you, enjoy it to the max, because reality is going to shrink that. You know what I mean? The insulation between your fantasy world and reality going to get thinner and thinner and thinner until you're forced to deal with circumstances you are not equipped for and you're not going to like. I don't know what they're going to be, but I strongly advise you to fucking smarten up now, sooner rather than later. Okay? The World Economic Forum is a front for the fucking Rothschilds. They're not going to tell you to buy Bitcoin. They're not going to tell you to buy anything that does not include debt slavery. And this stream, where is it? Behind the castle walls, right? Lie the secrets that royalty has been debt slaves to Jews since the year 1000. Okay? European royalty, that's what we have documented from England. What about France? What about Germany? What about Portugal? What about Spain? Well, why do you think Spain had the fucking not insurrection, what do they call it? Inquisition. The fuck do you think that came from? Where do you think all that shit comes from? Where do you think all these fucking, eventually even the pussy fucking royals decide to fucking rebel against these guys? But it takes, I don't know, 500 years, 800 years, 1,000 fucking years. But you, lucky you, surf that you are, lucky surf. You just sit with your feet up. You only work 2 days a week. You get to play your little flute music and dance around the fucking maypole. And life is grand. It's the royals who suffer, the bishops and the earls and the town fucking leaders. They're the ones who suffer. Life is a fucking party. Life is a party for the people at the bottom of medieval England. It's all the suffering is up top. And if you believe that, I have a story for you. I have a story for you about the Georgia Guidestones, because there has been a suspect identified in the terroristic act of blowing up the Georgia Guidestones somewhere in the state of Georgia, United States, Georgia. There's a private monument built that would guide the slaves from the horrors of the terrible, terrible legacy of the slavery, from the deepest, darkest Georgia into the beautiful bodegas of the Bronx, where some Spanish dude would knife the fuck out of them. Surveillance video has shown they have a suspect in this act of terrorism. Apparently, Pepe the Frog, or some sort of blue collar worker with a hard hat and some explosive materials, was the one actually responsible for blowing up the Georgia Guidestones which no Negroes probably have ever fucking visited. Just fucking guilty white liberals came and cried in front of this fucking, what they called American Stonehenge. So there it is, friends. There's your fucking suspect. If you see a small, pudgy frog with not much muscle tone, but a dynamite detonator and a hard hat, please send all your tips to FBI.gov. That's FBI.gov at twitter.com. So the Georgia Guidestones got blown up. This is maybe, like, of all the incredibly shitty CIA ops there are out there, this one's like mind-blowingly shit. Like, how do we start a race war? Let's blow up the Guidestones. Black people don't give a fuck. I want to explain to you, I want to get across to you that black people don't give a fuck. They don't fucking care. The most, whatever, incendiary, racist thing you could say is Tuesday morning to black people. You know what I mean? They say this and worse all day, every day. All day, every fucking day. And this woman, this black woman, was, her and her husband, she's actually married, shopping for a fucking house in New Jersey, and they're like working class people. Shoto Karate, America's Stonehenge, is in New Hampshire. Even Stonehenge is fake and gay. Trust me on this one. I really think I didn't see the fucking what's the movie with Sniff the Glove guys. Anyway, but this black chick was saying, going looking to buy a house, her and her husband, and she said to me, she goes, me and my husband are trying to buy a house. She said $300,000, and you still got to live next to a fucking crackhead. You know what I mean? Now, I would say this is in public. This is like, a lot of people around. So I know what she's saying. You know what I mean? Like, I got to pay $250,000 and they still have to fucking live next to black people. That's what she's saying. Like this fucking sucks. So this is like a Northeastern reality, but the scale, dollar-wise, the reach of it, considering salaries and standard of living throughout the country is similar. You know what I mean? People, like, how the fuck are you going to be on the hook for $250,000 and you got to live next to fucking drug addicts? The system is broken in ways that can't be fucking fixed. Rice and beans Hitler is not going to fix this. You know what I mean? I promise you, when whatever magic you think is going to happen and the king returns, King Hobbit dude or whatever returns, and you can just sit and have breakfast twice a day and go to Wi-Fi at the bookstores. There's no bookstores in medieval England, but because you can't read anyway. But you think you're going to go down there and whatever, just chill all day, because the life of a serf is 5 days with your feet up and only 2 days of fucking labor. Yeah, sure it is. When you think that fantasy is going to happen, believe me, the World Economic Forum will fucking recommend people buy Bitcoin before that shit fucking happens. Way before that shit fucking happens. But we live in the fucking most comic fucking time. I cannot tell you, like, this is when I tell you, like, you think fucking psychos like us write these fucking headlines. Like, there's no way. You think, like, there's no fucking way. I sit here thinking there is no fucking way that the craziest fucking shit I could possibly come up with, the craziest thing that could come out of my fucking mouth, actually shows up in like a major publication. What will be considered a major publication? This just showed up today. The Washington Post, the CIA blog. This is the CIA's official fucking newspaper, right? Right after the release of the fucking Hunter Biden hookers arguing over how much crack is on the scale, Hunter Biden masturbating with a pistol, Hunter Biden, whatever, all those videos that are floating around Twitter, right? This is like, new studies show moderate crack cocaine use is not a cause for concern. And at the bottom, is it still up there? Wait a minute. I circled the thing at the bottom. Oh, why did you do that? Why would you do that? trying to make this thing. I'm trying to show you what I circled at the bottom because just to show you that it's there. It says, what does it say? Come on. New studies reveal there was racial bias in previous studies of crack. Yeah, I don't know how many studies of crack there have actually been. Test subjects noted positive effects while coping with repression under the Trump administration and, more recently, the Putin price hike. That's the part I circled at the bottom. So with the Trump, the oppression of the Trump regime and the Putin price hike. This is the official CIA blog saying that, in fact, moderate crack use, because you don't want to be a crack extremist, moderate crack use, really not that bad. You know what I mean? It's like I might argue with you, we might disagree, but if you're just a moderate crack user, yeah, totally, I could get along with you. You're a moderate crackhead. I'm sitting here going like the craziest shit. Like I could drink. I'm trying not to drink that much these days because I'm trying to keep my fucking brain from spinning off too far into the fucking space. But Jesus fucking Christ, the Washington Post is talking about moderate crack use. You know, sometimes I have trouble like getting Monday morning, alarm goes off. I don't really want to go to work, but I got to get myself amped. I got to get ready. I got to, so I just fucking take out the pipe and the fucking lighter. And you know what? It gets me in the shower, gets me to coffee. It gets me to work. My crack use is moderate. You know what I mean? I'm not crazy. I'm not like all the time. I'm like 7 day a week crack user. You know what I mean? I'm a moderate crack user. That's a real fucking headline in a newspaper in our nation's capital. That is literally the blog of the fucking CIA. Now, like what I've said it before, I said it weeks past and months past, shit is going to get so fucking crazy. You're going to read and see things that's so fucking crazy. You're going to be really, really spun around. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to know what's going on. Is this happening on the screen? Am I asleep and dreaming? How is this happening right in front of my eyes? You're going to be in a bad fucking way. It helps to think logically. It helps to be grounded in reality. And man, do I hope this fucking show helps you guys. Some of you people, whoever watches this, do that because you're going to fucking need it really, really badly. Like really badly. It's not getting better. It's only fucking getting worse and crazier. And if you don't, you have to find, that's why, like, honest to God, no shit. Lifting fucking weights, go out, whatever the Bitcoin people talk about, go out and touch grass, but shut everything electronic off. Let your brain fucking cool down. Go out and do real shit, like stuff that hurts. You're going to be fucking sore afterwards. That's you can touch, not a digital thing. You're going to need to do that more and more and be disciplined and make that part of your fucking life. Because if you don't, you're going to get swept up in some bullshit that's where you're fighting someone over a fucking bag of chips at a bodega and you get fucking knifed, and that's that. Twitter today was old dumb fucks who have no idea what a street fight is. In fucking somewhere in the Netherlands, there was like 6 white guys against 2 Dindus. One Dindu clearly has a fucking pistol. It's out from the beginning of the video, and they're yelling at him and blah, 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 and they're chasing him down the street, and he shoots one dead, he wounds 2 others, and they're like, hey, dummy, let me explain. And I tweeted this out. I'm not the world's expert on this. I'm really not. I'm not holding myself out as an expert, but empty hands versus a dude with a handgun, you're going to lose. You know what I mean? That's what I've seen in my limited experience in driving taxis in the 1990s. And that's what I saw on Twitter today. Okay. There was another fucking dumb white motherfuckers chasing 3 brown dudes in an airport or a mall or something like that. and the fucking brown guy like clearly fucking takes out a fucking knife, a much bigger knife than this. He's got a knife and he's yelling at some guys, and they're like, "Yeah, come on, let's fight." And at one point, some big stupid fat motherfucker comes up to this dude and he taps him in the neck like that, just boink, that fucking quick, that quick. And the dude stops and he holds his neck, and then all of a sudden you look at the guy filming it, tons of blood fucking pouring out on the floor, big fucking puddles of fucking blood, and it's like 12 seconds from touching the fucking neck with a knife to this dude fucking dropping out, arterial fucking bleed, done. Okay, because they're hyped up on adrenaline and they think, listen, those chemicals that you never experienced before, that adrenaline, that fucking rush, that needs to be controlled. That needs to be fucking done in a certain way. And you're going to need a bunch of fucking pre-fight fucking experience before you can just don't walk up to somebody with a fucking knife. If someone has a knife, run the fuck away. If someone has a gun, run the fuck away. Get behind something solid like a tree, a brick wall, a big fucking truck. Don't charge at people with fucking weapons when you're empty-handed, have no fucking experience. None. Zero. The crossover between what you think reality is and what reality is a really painful fucking journey, and it may be your fucking last. It may be your fucking last. Don't get ahead of yourself, right? There's some fucking but there's some quote from fucking ancient Rome. Shoemaker not beyond the shoe, meaning stick to your fucking ballet ring. Stick to what you're fucking good at. If you're good at digital shit and being a fucking whatever shit poster, and something starts happening IRL, run in the opposite fucking direction. Run. Because if you're a shit poster, a digital, an internet person, a Twitter person, whatever, Instagram, whatever the fuck platform, and then shit starts happening for real in front of you, you best get the fuck out of there. Because you're not a real fucking guy. No experience, no equipment, no fucking training means you fucking lose. Moral fucking, whatever you perceive your fucking moral fucking superiority to be, your intellectual superiority, that the laws of physics don't fucking give a shit. Okay? Someone, even with a little fucking tiny fucking knife, sticks it in your neck and you're gonna die. All those IQ points you're so proud of gonna fucking leak out onto the fucking floor before you can go, holy shit, I think that's racist. Okay? Somebody has something that goes bang in their fucking hand, get behind something solid like a fucking tree, a steel door, or a brick wall or something like that, fast. Okay? Don't think, oh, I can charge this guy. I'm like, whatever, fucking Jason Bourne. You ain't fucking Jason Bourne, bro. You really are not Jason Bourne. You think fucking playing Call of Duty, it's going to get you through this? No, it's not like Call of Duty. There's no reset button where you get a new life afterwards. And this shit's going to happen to a greater or lesser degree as the money stops working. Will that happen in America? Eventually, yes. Will it happen tomorrow? No, not tomorrow. All the stuff that you see, these bullshit things, cop shoots this, didn't do, cop shoots that, didn't do. Nobody gives a shit right now. When the money situation gets really tight in the U.S., then it's going to look like Sri Lanka and all these other places. And you need to understand that now, and you need to not get caught up in that shit. Don't let yourself get caught up in that shit, because you don't want to be fighting with some dude who's half your age and twice your fucking size over a packet of fucking ramen noodles, because they're going to win because they're the low IQ people who have to work things, and you're a shit poster. All right. Don't be that fucking guy. You know what I mean? Don't be in a position where you have to fight for your life over a packet of fucking ramen noodles. That's my fucking advice. There's ways to avoid that. The way to avoid that, don't hold your wealth in Zog bucks, right? Or anything that the state can confiscate. Okay? If the state can take your shit, tax your shit, or fucking, if people can surround you with fucking signs and protest outside of what you fucking value, it might not have the value you think it does. It might not have the value that you think it does. Things to think about, but you have to think outside your little comfort zone, outside your little, oh, we're going to go back to medieval England and I'll have a nice fucking Starbucks coffee at the Wi-Fi cafe by the fucking Hobbit tree. That's not how it's going to happen, bro. That wasn't true in 1000. It's not true today. It's not going to be true 50 years from now. Smarten the fuck up, okay? You know what I mean? You could still have whatever your fantasies, play World of fucking Warcraft or whatever the fuck you do, but understand none of that shit is real. And once you step outside this fucking door, the rules change. The rules change, and your skill set has to fucking change. So that's what I'm telling you. And whatever the fuck you do, I think you should do Bitcoin. I'm unabashed about that. But if you think shiny yellow rock is the way to go with shiny yellow rock. If you think real estate is the way to go, find real estate. I suggest commercial real estate, not residential real estate, but whatever. You go the way you want to go. You know what I mean? But don't store the value of your life and what you would pass on to your posterity in instruments, paper receipts controlled by the people who hate you and want you dead. That's my advice. I know, radical. Don't store your wealth. Don't store your life in the fucking instruments controlled by the people who hate you and want you dead. Wild fucking thinking, right? But, whoa, outside the box, edgy. That's my fucking message. That's what this show is about. You can like it. You can go. If you don't like it, you can go to fucking Patrick Bateman has a channel where he'll tell you about sucking Negro penis and get you to get blackpilled and shoot up a synagogue or some stupid shit, which I do not suggest you ever do. But or you can go to Norvin's channel where you can scream, I hate the Jews 24/7 and do nothing. Or you can think about, hey, listen, I got to find a way fucking through this. And you know what? Just because I have the same skin color as you, what does that do for you? Nothing. You know what I mean? Gee, you have the same genetic characteristic as I do. That means we can build fucking Stonehenge. No, a lot more is required than that. There's a lot more you have to put in and, you know, to get the value out. But again, a lot of people are fucking midwits. A lot of extremists are really just pissed off midwits that they're upset that they weren't born to fucking whatever. Like Judas Fleischai says, you know, the Talmud says that the Hebrews are royalty. Yeah, we was kangs. You know what I mean? You're not kangs. You're not going to be fucking kangs. But you're pissed off that someone else is kangs and you ain't. You know what I mean? And then you develop this complex, multi-layered bullshit over why they should not be kangs and you should be the fucking kang. That just isn't how shit works. But you'll get caught up in a bunch of dumb shit and you'll get fucking hurt. And there's no need for that. There's just no need for that. Be smarter. Abandon that. You probably have more fucking abilities than you think. You just got to give yourself a fucking chance. You know what I mean? Step by step, stop being a fucking retard and start being smarter. Start being smarter than you are. Damn, I'm holding 4 viewers. Big fucking numbers. Huge numbers. An hour and 45. A fucking hour and 45 minutes. This is crazy. How long I can fucking rant for. Anyway, did I cover everything? I gotta look at my notes. Now I gotta look at my notes. Oh yeah, that dude from fucking Shinzo Abe, the dude from Japan, just got killed. He used to be the prime minister, and then he got killed, and you saw it on video, and it was the shittiest fucking assassination video. And everyone's like, "Oh my god!" First off, there's black and white fucking TV video from back in the day of the Japanese killing their fucking political people. Some dude with a samurai sword just, I don't know, he's a communist and he attacked the guy who was not a communist, or I don't know, or he's not a communist and he attacked the guy who was a communist. Like right on video, he's like screaming and he fucking shitty fucking sword thrust and he fucking kills the guy in Japan. Similar thing with this. I saw pictures. The Japanese police eventually went to the guy's house. He had a number of homemade firearms. He tried a number of different designs. He eventually went with this relatively short, double barrel sort of shotgun design that looked like it was maybe electrically fired. He had homemade gunpowder. There's a bunch of shit. The barrels of the shotgun were like whatever, plumbing pipe or something, whatever the fuck he finds. Whatever's available in Japan. Was this guy, did China fucking drive this dude to fucking kill this former prime minister because the former prime minister was going to change the politics of Japan? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking care. The Japanese security was absolute shit because they don't have to deal with real threats. The Japanese, despite your karate movie fantasies, Japan has very little violence. And it's always by people with enormous power against people who are helpless, right? All of that karate, kung fu fucking shit, all of that jujitsu, twisty, bendy fucking shit is some dude who, if you dare defy me, I'm going to cut your wife's head off. So let me beat the shit out of you in the town square. That's Japan. That's the real Japan. You don't want to see that, but that's the real Japan. So none of their bodyguards know what the fuck to do. This fucking dork with a homemade fucking shotgun manages to kill a former prime minister. Does it mean much? I don't really think so. Other than Japanese bodyguards suck. They're clueless. And if you're really determined, you can do something fucking stupid. And which will change the course of nothing. So, this is, everybody's like, oh my God, this is, what did they say, Franz Ferdinand, World War I vibes. You're all fucking lost. It doesn't mean shit. Some old fucking gook got shot by some fucking wacko. Did the Beijing push it? Maybe they did. You know what I mean? But they pushed it so far, like, they're from such distance, and it did what good? No fucking good. If China has anything to worry about, it's America and Australia. Japan's a fucking afterthought. Don't read too much into that shit. The murder of that guy is not that big of a deal at all. Anyway, whatever. So the Georgia Guidestones, that's what I was talking about fucking 20 minutes ago. The state finally knocked down the Guidestones after they were bombed. They're going to be replaced by George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, and fucking Mike Brown smoking a blunt. You know what I mean? At taxpayer expense. I don't know what that statue is going to cost. Maybe $2 to $10 million. But that's coming. It's not coming tomorrow, but it's coming. You know what I mean? So they blew that fucking stupid thing up in order to replace it at taxpayer expense with something even more fucking vile, even more fucking anti-white, anti-civilization. That's why that was done. So it's not, there's really no reason to celebrate because the Georgia taxpayer is going to pay for the replacement thing, like I said, which is going to be worse. And you'll see it in a couple of years. Anyway, I'm almost 2 fucking hours into this thing. I'm losing my voice as per usual. Screaming into the void. So, you want to know what life in medieval England was like? Watch the beginning of the show. Basically, it was great if you were nobody, but it really sucked if you were the king. Yeah, I believe that. I absolutely believe that. I'm going to do a little more on medieval life as things go forward because it just needs to be fucking shit on even harder. But until next week, my loyal audience, which is now plummeting from a high of 7 down to 3. I lost half the fucking audience. I'm losing the crowd, folks. Losing the crowd. Sad. Anyway, thanks for everybody showing up. Virgil Doc, Purple Heart, Judas Flychai, Chris Olton, Shoddy Karate, MMA. Thanks a lot, everybody, for showing up. And see you guys next week.